And just wait 1 second so I can turn it down. The Peapod is in the house. She's got her toy. There we go. Okay. So we're going to do, it's funny, all of the stuff that we ever do is hydrating joints, hydrating your fascia, hydrating your muscles, hydrating your organs. Like movement hydrates tissue. So that's what we're going to focus on today, which means that we're going to really focus on three-dimensionality. So like if I'm just moving like this, it's doing one thing in my muscles. But if I start to ring a little bit inside my body, I'm going to get more hydration. I'm going to get the fluids to redistribute in a better way. So that's what our focus for today will be. I'll just talk about that more. But having said that, so many of our classes, that's really what we're working on. All right, inhale, stretch out and up, reach to the gods, reach to the sky. And when you're up there, just give yourself a little bit of movement. So one side gets longer and then the other side, you're stretching longer on one side, stretching longer on the other side. Feeling your breath and just staying up. Like cats do that scrabbling thing and you can't see it, but that's kind of what I'm doing towards the ceiling, like scrabbling and grabbing. So anytime we add this kind of spiraling movement, we're going to get into that tissue in a better way for the tissue, like in a more hydrating way, right? Because it's kind of this ringing movement. So let's do that again. Inhale up. And let's just spiral the arms one way and then the other. Feel what happens to your head and neck, whatever it wants to do. Reaching into that top space. As we're doing this, we're also giving the diaphragm some mobility, right? So as I stretch up there, this under here is getting this action. Same thing on the other side, just letting it spiral in and out. So this is going to be like a relationship from our fingertips through the joints into our heart and lungs. And if you put your hand on your ribs and you move, you should feel them moving, right? There is going to be a lot of movement. Sometimes we think of our bones as being these like non-movable things, but the ribs really move, right? We breathe, so they move. I was in a Gil Headley scar tissue anatomy live talk yesterday, and they were talking about how when we have scarring, it can really affect what's happening in our body. Like the superficial fascia underneath can kind of get, like the scar tissue can adhere to different parts of our body. So, but we can very gently move and move that area very soft to shift the relationship of that scar tissue to soften it up. It's not going to go away. It's still going to be scar tissue, but we can give it more life. So I feel like that's what we're doing with this type of movement, is just giving our body more life, more gentleness. And often in these situations, something more gentle where our body doesn't resist it, our body can take that in and digest it. So sometimes just gentle and soft and like nurturing and nourishing is better than like, I'm going to force it into this. Spiraling, just twisting around, looking behind you. Easy and loose. So this is very free flow. You're letting your body swing. And again, we're spiraling, right? We're getting this twist. And our whole spine gets to spiral. Maybe there's a little weight shift happening with your feet. Maybe not. Try to look all the way around behind you so you see what's back there. And if possible, try and see the same thing on each side, right? So you're going back to one point and then you're seeing if you can find it from the other side. Good. And then let's bring that in, take it down, and shift from side to side. So bending one knee, bending the other knee, letting your spine free up. Relax your neck and jaw. Foot, ankle, knee, hips through your spine to your from your tail to your head. Shoulder blades get a chance to free up. If you're wearing any big backpack of responsibility for yourself, for other people, maybe just take it off for this time while we're together. So letting go of any kind of extra holding that you're doing and just give yourself a little shake there. And then roll all the way up. And we're going to go with an external rotation and internal rotation here. So externally rotating, arching, and then internally rotating and curling. So basically it's a cat-cow, opening and closing. from standing with this internal and external rotation in the arms and legs. If it's too much to do the legs and the arms, just pick the arms, right? Or just pick the legs. But chances are it's easier just to do the arms. Exhale, inhale, exhale, fill up, exhale, inhale, and relax. Let's circle the shoulders, big circles. Again, inviting yourself to take off the backpack of whatever tensions you're holding, whatever you have to do, whoever you have to take care of. Just for now, take off that backpack for a little while. Change it up and forward. So internal massage, hydrating tissues, moving bones, moving cartilage, moving fascia, tendons, ligaments, all that stuff, right? So ligaments connect bone to bone, tendons connect muscle to bone, and the cartilage is usually there supporting something, right? Helping something stay together. So we have like cartilage in around our ribs. We have cartilage in our knees. We have it in different places. So just thinking of that cartilage is very hydrated, plump, and healthy, right? As you can see, I have this knee thing on. My chiropractor said I have an injury in my lateral collateral ligament, which is right here on the outside. There's a medial collateral ligament on the inside, and I'm kind of not sure which one it's in, but it's not a big deal. It's a little bit of a sprain. Back of the hands towards each other. Inhale, spiral. Share the sandwiches with everyone. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, inhale. Let's add a flex as we do this. So just get the feet involved and open. Flexing, and then feet to the floor. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, in through your nose. If possible, out through your mouth or through your nose. Inviting yourself to breathe bigger. Let out more air. Bring in just exactly what you need. Breathing deep down into your body. Last one. Let's take our hands behind. You're going to press your pelvis up and then take it down and back if possible. If you can't go all the way down and back, just come to here. So either way, taking it up, use your breath, tracking straight through. Last one, go up and stay, pulsing up. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Play with where your head is. Like, if it feels okay to drop it back, try that. Look at the ceiling, look towards your knees, just feeling the relationship of your head on your body and release. And probably one place is going to be more comfortable than another place. There was like a whole period through my, maybe like my halfway through my 30s to partway into my 40s where like it hurt for me to drop my head back. So like it was all bunched up in there. And now it doesn't anymore. It's amazing. Things change. Coming down onto your back. Give yourself some head tail freedom, right? So as if you are as if you are a snake in the grass. There is a great Bob Fosse video singing that song, Snake in the Grass. It's very influential on the way that if you look at that video, you're going to go, oh, that's where Michael Jackson learned how to dance. Anyway, it's pretty groovy. Snake in the Grass, Bob Fosse. It's on YouTube. Dropping your knees from side to side. As you're in that drop, let your body weight settle into the floor. So again, if you feel like you're kind of picking yourself up, sink and settle, drop into the floor. You can slow this down, getting a nice massage through your hips as you go from side to side. Letting it release your lower back and crossing all the way over. So this Gil Headley live that I was watching yesterday with Alistair, oh God, what's his last name? He's developed this whole protocol for massage therapists and body workers to work on people with scar tissue. And this is really soft, gentle work. But they were talking about how things like even getting an epidural can cause a little bit of scar tissue in the injection point, which can cause back pain, things like that. Having a C-section can cause, the scar tissue can cause a lack of flow through different areas. Even having like a navel piercing. One massage therapist in there said that she had women who were trying to get pregnant and they had navel piercings and they couldn't get pregnant. They took out the piercing and they got pregnant. So I'm not saying this is not like the science that I am talking about. I'm just saying think about these things, right? If we put things in, I know that my people in my room are not pierced. I don't think. I mean, my ears are pierced, but the people on TV land, who knows? Just think about stuff when you do it, because we have lots of flows of energy, flows of fluid, things that are moving through our body to keep us healthy. And if we've got scar tissue, that is going to not move as easily, right, as other places unless we soften it up. So this type of movement, we're inviting it in, even with our imagination, to soften and reconnect so that that scar tissue isn't just like hard, but it can soften a little bit and have flow. Pressing your pelvis up, circles. Oh, his name was Alistair, I want to say McLaughlin, but I think it could be almost different than that. Change direction, Gil Headley and Alistair. I think it is McLaughlin. So circling, great movement to hydrate tissue. Come into center. Let's lift up onto our tippy toes and then lower down. So up, tippy toes and lower. You might need to walk your heels in more. Up and down, pressing into the floor. Up, imprinting the foot into the ground. Pressing up and down and up and down. And then lift the toes and lower. Lift the ball of the foot so you're flexing and lower. Just feel what happens in the back of your body with that flex. Lower. And now we're going to go up and lower and flex and touch down. Up and lower and flex down. Here we're doing my own physical therapy for my knee issue. Flex, lower, up, down, flex, lower, up, down, flex, and lower, and roll the whole thing down. And then let's take just a happy baby. So stretch it out. Find your babiness. Wiggle around and melt. So scar tissue could also not be from a surgery. Like let's say I pulled my hamstring at some point, and then where that tissue is trying to heal, it can form a scar, right? So then maybe I've got something kind of more stuck in there. We want to use movement, but gentle movement. Like if I push into it, like I'm gonna really get that stuff out, maybe I will. But there's a good chance that my body's gonna like become rigid against that, right? Like you can't force things into tissue when you want to shift and change tissue. You need to give it some softness and some fluidity. So it's like, oh yeah, I can ease into that, right? Like if you push into force, you meet with force, you meet with resistance. But if you softly, calmly, gently go in there, not for too long, just for a little bit, you can start to shift things around. And that's one reason why, like in most of these workouts, we're not really working for the burn. We're working to hydrate tissue. We're working for healthy nerves, healthy joints, healthy fascia. Let's open into an X. Healthy patterning in our nervous system. X, crossing over elbow to knee and stretch it out. Elbow to knee, reach it out. So this is a contralateral pattern. Anytime we do this cross body stuff, we are going to be making our nervous system happier. So like going for a walk, going for a run, working through that contralateral pattern is great juju for your body. If you're exhausted and you actually need to rest, it's not good juju to go for a walk or a run. So there has to be some discernment in that. Okay, relax. Take a heel rock. So my feet are on the floor and I have no socks on, so I've got this real capacity to dig my heels in. Now I want to soften the rest of my body. So my pelvis, my rib cage, my head and neck can join in this flow. If I stabilize my body, there's no flow in here, right? If I release that, I can create this flow of movement like a wave up and down my body, right? So just use that analogy. Where you're rigid, there's no flow, right? So soften and release. We can go through moments of rigidity, but we don't want to be stuck in rigidity. Let's open up into an X shape again and just one diagonal. See if you can get the movement up there in your other hand on the floor. And then try it on the other side. And then come in and let's do a twist, knees up, twisting from side to side, big spiral. Head is going to go away from your legs if your back feels good. If your back is hurting, head's going to go either in the same direction or skip it altogether. And if you're feeling confused, just stare at the ceiling. And if you want to make it harder, straighten your legs. Really reaching out through your arms, opening up through the chest, opening up through the back. So the front body and the back body in through your chest are very open. One more time each side. And bringing it in. And let's take, so this heel rock is an upper lower pattern, right? I'm doing upper versus lower. If I close, rolling across, it's right versus left. So let's go into right versus left. Opposite, opening one half of the body, opening, unfolding through center, and then folding in. We're rolling from right to left. So our body is organized in through the center, through midline, opening up and closing. Right versus left. Homolateral. One side versus the other side, right versus left. So these three patterns are some basic patterning. The upper versus lower, like babies, they first learn that push-pull, and then they learn to roll, and then they learn to crawl. So that's that contralateral pattern. So that's our nervous system going through these developmental stages. There are some stages before that that are a little more subtle. So let's come back to the contralateral pattern, the crossbody movement, and we're going to keep our arm and leg straight, coming up and then lengthening out. Getting really long as you come down and out. Let's come up and then flex your hand and foot and then extend it and come down. So coming up, flex, reach it out, come down, up, flex, reach, out, up. So you're just giving yourself an action to do, which should change. Like when I'm here, the front of my leg is working. I do this, I lengthen the back of my leg, right? You can feel that pull down the Achilles. So we're just getting the tissue, once it's up there, to do something different, right? This hydrates tissue more than if we don't do that extra bit. Good, we're gonna change it. We're gonna change everything. Just give yourself a shake, free up your spine, right? So we want to let go of any rigidity in our body, softening, free up the pattern. Neck and head easy and loose. You can turn your head from side to side, letting the weight of your cranium really drop into the floor. So, letting go, maybe making a sound or yawning. Easy inside your body. And then we're going to come back into this open position, arms and legs out, and we're going to circle wrists and ankles. So feet and wrists circling, lengthening out, and change direction, circle the other way. Hands and feet. And then we're going to grab on. You're going to flex your feet, point your toes, fold it in, open up. flex, point, fold, extend, flex, point, fold, reach, flex, point, fold, reach. So your hands can help you just to get it, just to hold your legs there, or they can stretch you a little bit more if that feels good. You can use your arms to push down to get more of an adductor stretch, inner thigh stretch. Flex, point, fold, open, flex, point, fold, open, flex, point, fold, open. Last one, flex, point, fold, open. We're going to do the opposite movement now. Well, it's not exactly the opposite, but we're going to internally rotate one leg at a time. Letting all of that tissue really spiral in and feeling this connection through here, through your ribs, down through your leg, down through your knee. So inside of here, deep in here, we have our psoas, deep, deep in. That is lengthening down. We're letting that have some movement in a different direction. It's not just doing its up-down thing. We're getting this little bit of spiral in all the tissue. And then we're going to do one more thing while we're here. If this internal rotation doesn't feel good in your knee, don't do it. You're going to take your hand on your ribs. So my ribs here, I'm going to arch more, and then I'm going to sort of soften in. So on the inhale, I'm arching. On the exhale, I'm softening in. And I'm not like super gripping. Just making it easy. Feeling that lower lobe of the lung, connecting into the diaphragm, and letting it have some growing and shrinking with the breath. And then switch it to the other side, same thing. So I'm grabbing on here. This knee is still going to be, I'm going to open it just so you can see, but normally I would have both knees in. So I'm arching and then softening. This isn't me going like this with my lungs so much as allowing the shape to open and then allowing the shape to soften in with the breath, growing and shrinking. Opening, slightly closing. And what are we doing here? We're just getting that part of our diaphragm to have more aliveness. Coming in and also feeling the big connectedness of our whole body into our organs, into our sort of deep supportive body. Blah, 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 blah. We can also just exercise, and you can totally ignore all the things I'm saying. It's no big deal. We're going to bring the legs together, extend one leg out, point your toes. Let's come up, and then actually let's flex as we come down. So knees are together, point, bring it all into a line, and flex as you come down. Knees together, point, and flex, pressing up, point, and flex, and point, and flex, changing it to the other side. We're not doing a lot of these. Point, flex down, point, flex down. Trying to keep your hips even, point, without becoming rigid, point, and flex. Two more. Up, down, and last one. Up, and down, and then shake it all out. Shake, 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 jiggle. Arms, legs, spine, fry like bacon. Let it go. Like popcorn. Pop on the floor like popcorn. And then let's take one more happy baby. You can bend and straighten in your baby, wiggle around. Let your happy baby be like a happy baby. And then bring it in. And let's roll back and forth, rolling through your spine. If it doesn't feel good to go forward, backward, go side, side instead. So here is an upper versus lower pattern. We're rolling. Upper versus lower is also known as homologous pattern, upper versus lower. And in a way, it's a push-pull, right? Pushing off my feet, rolling through my back, pushing, pulling. And then let's take it into a forward fold. Walk your butt from side to side. Melt down into it. Wiggle around. Let your body wiggle, let your legs wiggle, like you're pulling on a pair of tight, tight jeans, like you're wiggling yourself into your tight jeans. Soften fluid in your body, letting go. And then rolling it up, opening your arms out side, taking it on a side stretch, big side stretch. Open it up, sideways, open, sideways, open, and open, circling the whole way around, taking it to the side and forward and around. Inhale, open, changing direction, sideways and forward, sideways, and opening through center. Side stretch. Use your breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Let's open up into a straddle. And we're just going to do a little bit of movement forward and backwards. So it doesn't have to be a whole lot, just easy and gentle, and then taking it back. So sort of dynamic stretching where we're moving through it, but not just bouncing it, right? We're just moving gently through and then taking it back. If you're tighter, it might look more like you're lifting yourself out of it, letting yourself arch and curl. As you're doing this, what are you doing in your belly? Right? I can feel myself like doing all sorts of pulling in and up. I want to at least some of the time let it really go. So it's not, I can stick my belly out and then draw it in so I could move. And I want to think like it's nice to actually think of, instead of my abdominals doing all the work, letting my organs move and then maybe my abdominals come back in without any massive amount of driving the car with the brakes on, right? So it's just thinking of pouring things forward and then back, pouring forward and back, all in the interests of healthy guts, healthy digestion, healthy reproductive organs, healthy everything. If we're squeezing it all in, that is not healthy. Can we? I know so many people have been taught, I've been taught, like through dance, Pilates, yoga, maybe not yoga so much, but sometimes it's like pull it in and up and this is good posture. Is it better to have some movement, right? Some fluidity, some dynamics. And then there are people that are super released and super that could benefit from a little bit more tone, right? So we want to just notice that. Where do we tend to lie on the tone? Like, are we really holding it together or are we way too loose? It's all falling apart. Somewhere in the middle. All right, bringing your legs around, just massage through your butt, roll over one side and then the other. Relax your tongue, relax your neck. Let's come into a side plank, side forearm plank. You can have your bottom knee on the floor if you need to, or push them up. I'm going to circle my top arm, following the hand with my eyes. Big arm circle, heart, lungs, ribcage, diaphragm, mobilizing as I circle and change direction. Yeah, so even like injection sites from vaccines can have scar tissue in there, which can affect your shoulder. And come down and switch it to the other side. And I'm talking even those like I have one of those scars, like the I don't know, the whole thing that they gave you when you like I don't know when they stopped doing that. I think in the 70s they stopped doing that one. But if you're over a certain age, you are going to have a little vaccination scar on your arm probably. Circling around. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Using your breath. We are on the other side. And change direction. And then come down and let's swing it around and come onto our bellies on the mat. Bend your knees, let your legs fall from side to side, loose and easy, massaging through your quads. I was out this morning, it was raining this morning, and I went for a barefoot walk up the hill and in the backyard. Just hello there. And then you're going to take your arms out and front, legs behind, Lengthen one diagonal and reach it out and come in. Lengthen the other diagonal, reach and come in. So lengthen, lift, lower, inhale up, exhale down. Doesn't have to go super high. And then come in, head on your hands. Curl your toes under, relax your knees, wag your tail, just soften up your spine for a second, and then push up and down. Try to relax your neck, jaw, tongue, relax your shoulders, relax your back, relax your front, relax your inner body, relax your glutes, relax your belly, relax your guts, relax your quads, relax your hamstrings, inner thighs, outer thighs. Just getting this nice gentle push, working. Only thing that has to do any work is while your legs are kind of pushing, right? So your toes are pushing. That's coming up through your legs. Just feeling the difference between the two sides of your body. And then coming in, letting that go. So anytime we're doing kind of one of those rocking, releasing, we're just bringing our body back into a more fluid state, right? This type of thing, rocking, is great for just getting the fluid in your body to move a little bit. And it doesn't even have to be a lot. I was saying this in another class. My grandma lived to be 105 and a half. She had a big rocking chair. She spent, a good portion of her day in that rocking chair rocking. So rocking is better than stillness for human bodies, for the tissue, right? Stagnation, lack of movement, not healthy. Arms out, circles. But the movement doesn't have to be, I'm taking a HIIT class. It can be just rocking. Letting yourself come up when the arms come up and change direction. Hands next to your chest, arch all the way up, open, 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 and then take it back down. Melt, using your breath to come up. Inhale and exhale. You can also use your eyes by looking out, initiating the movement, seeing what's in front of you, looking up, 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 up. Using your breath to come down. Inhale, eyes and breath. If you feel like it, try and touch your toes to your head. And then take it back into a child's pose. A little soft, gentle wiggle from side to side. Free up your spine, let it go. And then come up, and we're going to open the hands a little bit wider and circle the chest and lungs. Chest, lungs, heart, diaphragm, getting some mobility. We want to have healthy veins and arteries with no plaque. Then let's move our hearts, move our body, change direction, letting the body reabsorb any crustiness that's in there, any sort of calcification or any plaque. Just inviting it to reabsorb into our body and get composted and released and come back in. And we're going to do, what are we going to do? Let's come down to a forearm plank. Just one knee to the floor at a time, parallel, dropping down, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pushing forward and backward, forward and backward, forward, backward. Feeling that relationship from your feet to your head, whole body moving. And let your pelvis come down. Take it into a Sphinx position. And in that, lengthen up and open. And let yourself have a little bit of freedom. Really small micro movement, just freeing up the spine a little bit. Not a whole lot of movement, just a little bit. Maybe it's a whole lot, whatever feels good to you. We're going to look over one shoulder, come through center, look over the other shoulder, through center. You're going to straighten that arm and look over the shoulder, straighten and look over. And then you're going to bend the opposite knee. And I'm going to do point, flex. Point, flex. Could be flex, point. Either way. Point, Flex, looking over your shoulder at the opposite leg. Oops, I changed it to flex point. If it is too much to straighten the arm, you can also do this with your arms still on the floor. Relax it down, soften it, wiggle it, let it go. Then we're going to bend both knees, come up, open the arms, and you're just going to cross and touch. Cross and touch. So knees are off the floor, cross and touch, cross and touch, cross and touch. Contralateral pattern in the back space. Hello. Last one. Lift the whole thing up, round your spine. Take it back to your child's pose, surrender and melt. Soften and let go. Letting your body kind of spread, dropping into the ground. Gravity says you belong here on the planet. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. So softening, melting, letting go. Interlace your hands in front of your head. If it feels good, you're going to roll up onto the crown of your head, rounding your spine, and then you're going to reach your tail back and lengthen it out. Rolling up onto the crown of your head, lengthening it back, letting yourself get a stretch through the back of your body, through your neck, if that feels good. And release and come down. Bring your legs out in front of you. Yeah, so I think like we think of fitness and like health as being I work out, I work my muscles, I do stuff for my strong bones. But we also really want to think about the tissue in our body, the fascia, which is holding and encasing everything. I'll do one on fascia maybe next time I do it live in this work, and I'll give you some visual aids. But the fascia is all the muscle casings. It's also moving through the muscles. It's around the bones. It's the whole holding pattern of our body. And it's shifty. It changes. It has a lot of life and a lot of possibility. There's a great movie that you can see on YouTube by Jean-Claude Gambartal called Strolling Under the Skin. And in it, you can see sort of how fascia moves. And there's many different types of it. Like there's the big bandy stuff, like our IT band and our lower back. And then there's also the sort of filmy, like gossamer stuff. But all of it's very strong. And like with our IT band, like there's the sort of bandy stuff on the outside, but under that is a different layer that's coming across this way. And we want those surfaces to be able to move against each other, right? So they're not gummed up. That's what like adhesions are. Like if we don't move, things can start to be adhesed. And I've done a dissection where I've seen a liver adhesed to the diaphragm, right? So if there's an adhesion in there, that means there's a lack of movement, right? It's stuck. And those things can melt away again if we move. So we're not stuck with our stuckness. We can awaken it, enliven it, hydrate, and encourage movement. Lots of lecturing today. Let's come on to, let me just check the time. Oh, we're good. Okay, so let's come on to our forearm plank one more time. This time we're going to make circles in the forearm plank. So circling down to the floor and then up with our pelvis, pushing with the arms, feeling the feet connected, and then change direction. And then come in, lower down, head on your hands again. Just relax, soften up your spine, wag your tail, relax your guts, relax your whole digestive tract, tongue to tail. And then let's come back and do regular old Pilates swimming. So paddling, but we're going to add a pumping breath. So the pumping breath is like this. You can see my body moving with that. So I want to breathe deep and then really push it out, in through my nose, out through my mouth. Inhale and open, come up. Ah, let it go. Child's pose, soften and melt. And then just breathe big into your body. So feeling your whole body growing and shrinking with the breath. Deep, deep shape flow support, which is the support of your body working in a coherent manner within itself, even within the world, right? Because if things happening outside of me are making me stressed out, it's hard to be in my shape flow support. And then coming up onto hands and knees again. Let's take one leg out behind. You're going to point your toes, make circles with that leg. So maybe soccer ball to beach ball size circles, not bigger than a beach ball. If you want to make it harder, opposite arm comes off. Feeling which parts of your body are stabilizing as your leg and hip are mobilizing. Let's flex the foot in the back and change direction, reaching through your heel. And release it down. Just wag your head and tail, let it soften, really fluid movement. Allowing yourself to find a sense of your flow. So it may have a totally different rhythm than mine. And then coming with the other leg out behind you, circles, pointed toes, long leg, opposite arm optional. If you're struggling to make a circle that's round, maybe just focus on that and don't try and pick up the arm. Reach it out. You can flex the foot in the back and change direction, reaching through your heel, really feeling your midline. And then release it down. And again, free it up. Let go of the tension that created, maybe initiating with your tail. And let's just circle our chest. So in this position, circling our chest with our arms straight. We did it with the arms bending. Can we circle rib cage, lungs, heart, diaphragm without bending the arms? Change direction. So it's like a cat-cow that's become more three-dimensional. Cat, cow, and a dog wagging its tail. And a fish swimming at the same time. Good. And then let's come back in. And we're going to come all the way onto our backs. I'm going to move this. Oh, it's all jammed up on the floor. It's so humid here right now. Like everything is kind of stuck. There we go. All right. So we're going to do one or two more things and then we'll stretch and be done. Taking one leg up, you're going to flex your foot, point your toes, fold it in, reach it out. Flex, point, fold, up, flex, point, fold, extend, flex, point, fold. Extend all the way straight, flex. So you're picking up your quad, you're engaging your quad when your leg is straight. I'm pretty hypermobile. My hamstrings are super open, so it's not hard at all for me to straighten up here. You might look very different than this. That's fine. Really just go with where you can actually straighten your leg all the way. Two more. Last one. And release. Shake it all out. Let it go. Switching it to the other side. Same thing. Flex, point, fold, extend. Flex, point, fold, open, flex, point, fold, open, flex, point. Yeah, so for me, because I have this knee injury, I'm going a little slower on this side, and I can really feel into this tendon back here. And I really want to have some mobility so there's no tissue stuck together there. So I'm just slowing it down. You might be going faster than me. I'm inviting in my body to reintegrate so it becomes healthy, right? And I'm doing it by slowing down and being more gentle with that part. but also bringing my awareness in. It's not like it doesn't actually hurt. I just have sensation in there. I'm like, oh, that's going on. Okay, good. And then let's release that, shake it out, let it go. Jiggle, wiggle. And let's just take one leg in and one leg out. Going for a stretch here. You can let that leg go all the way down or keep it up, whatever you want. And then switching it to the other side. So I'm feeling one leg lengthening down. So I'm lengthening through the front of this quad. I'm lengthening through the inside, my psoas. And I'm also getting this big stretch up here on this hamstring. Taking my time. If I don't stretch, I kind of bulk up here. Or I don't want to say bulk up, and it just gets a little congested. So I want to think of lengthening that top of my thigh out. And this can happen with your head on the floor or off the floor. Breathing into it, taking your time. So this is kind of a mixture between dynamic and static stretching because we're kind of moving, but we're kind of slow, giving it enough time to actually do something. Dynamic stretching is just stretching with movement. Static stretching, you're not really moving. Micro movement, dynamic stretching, just tiny movement. Last one. Good. And then from there, just open it out. Roll from side to side. Let that massage across your back. So as I'm in my roll, I can bring my legs up higher, which like rounds my lower back a little bit. If I lower them down, I get more through my glutes and my lower back slightly arches. My back slightly extends. Good. Bringing it in. I'm going to turn both knees in and then just go a little deeper with one and then the other. Not all the way down, just lengthening out. This is very soft and easy. And then coming up, hip stretch. I'm going to go with my ankle over my knee, inhaling up, exhale, taking it down, breathing into it, having a nice good taste of some cat hair over here. And then come up, foot on the floor. Yeah, if you don't like to vacuum, don't get cats. I kind of like vacuuming. I feel like it's very satisfying to see stuff get picked up off the floor. So, and spiral the other way. And then come in. Do I want to do that one? Does that feel okay on my knee? I'm going to put a block under my knee, but I want to do this stretch. So block is going to go under here. Let's go like that because my knee is kind of weird. How does it feel right? Maybe there. Inhale up, exhale, taking it down. And then coming up and releasing and just giving it a bang out. We're not going to go any further with those. This is it. Other side, ankle over your knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take it down. Breathe into it. Let go. And then coming up, foot on the floor, spiraling, getting taller. And then the other way. And then heel in towards your groin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take it down. Breathe. Yeah, so with that last stretch on this side, like my knee did not want to do more than I was doing. I was like, okay, we're just going to keep it easy. Don't force your body into things. If your body's saying, no, 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 take it easy. And then come up, unscramble, bang it out, rotate in and out, slide your heels in. You can take your weight forward and take it back, just stretching through calf, Achilles, and lower back. If you can touch down to the floor, do it. If not, don't. It's totally fine. And then tail to the ceiling. Open your feet wider. Shake your head no. Nod yes. Wiggle your shoulders. Relax your head. Open your feet wider and shift from side to side, bending one knee and then the other. And then come into center. Roll it all the way up. coming to standing. Inhale, open, and exhale, feeling the space around you, feeling your body in the space. Relax your neck and tongue. Give yourself a little shake. Let it go. One more time. Inhale, open, and exhale, coming down. Which country? Which country what? Which country am I in? I am in the US. If you are still there and asking that question. But maybe I was saying something about a country because that was probably a while ago. All right, I am going to stop the live stream. Please feel to like and subscribe and tell all your friends to get some exercise and